Hello students, this is the second part of the chapter Town, Traders and Craft Person. In the previous video, I have told you about a administrative town that was Thanjavur. Thanjavur not only an administrative town, that also a temple town because there was a very famous temple, Raja Rajeshwara temple, and that temple attract the urbanization process there. Here where our focus will be on a temple town, that how temple town initiate the process of urbanization, and here also we look at that temple are not only a center of worship as center of economic and social life of the people. So let's we begin. Temple towns and pilgrim center. Here we will take up the example of a Thanjavur that was a temple town as well as administrative town also. Thanjavur was the capital of Chola dynasty, and this town help us to know the process of urbanization. Urbanization is the process of developing city or the movement of the rural people toward the urban areas is known as urbanization. तो यहाँ पर हमको थंजावुर से ये समझने में हेल्प मिलेगा कि कोई सिटी कैसे डेवलप होता है. तो फर्स्ट, at that time temple were not only the center of a worship as well as the center of economy and society. So first, any rural or a king built up a temple to demonstrate their devotion toward a various deity. At that time, especially in a southern India, whenever whenever any person become a king, he first of all build up a temple. Okay, and with this temple he gained the respect for him in the heart of the people, as also this was a normal practice at that time. So what's happened then? The rulers gave grants of a land and money to carry out elaborated rituals, feed the pilgrims and priests, and celebrate festival. Not only the rulers as well as the pilgrims who come to the temple for for doing worship, they also gave donation to the temples. So grant of land and donation by the pilgrims were the source of income for the temple. तो जब भी राजा कोई जमीन मंदिर को दान में देता था, तो उस जमीन पर जो भी किसान रहता है, जो भी ट्रेडिंग एक्टिविटी हो रही है, जो भी काम को करने वाले लोग हैं, वो सभी टैक्स अब राजा को नहीं देंगे बल्कि वो अब मंदिर को देंगे, मंदिर के प्रीस्ट, मंदिर के पुजारी को देंगे. सो इस तरीके से मंदिर की जो इनकम है वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ने लगेगी. Now in this way, when the temple authority gained huge amount of money, means he collected immense wealth, then they used this wealth to finance trade and banking. Means now the temple would work like a bank. So what bank usually do? Bank give the money at a rate of interest, and if a person has extra money, then they can deposit into a bank for its safety. So the same work was done by the temple also. If anyone's needed money at that time, so that person can proceed to a temple authority, and temple authority uh, gave them money at a rate of interest. So what happened means gradually a large number of priests, workers, artisans, traders, they start settling near the temple to cater the need of the pilgrims. तो क्या होता है कि जब भी कोई मंदिर होगी तो मंदिर में दर्शन करने के लिए बहुत सारे लोग आएंगे, तो उनको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चाहिए, जाने के लिए, रहने के लिए होटल चाहिए, खाना खाने के लिए खाना चाहिए, और पूजा करने के लिए उनको फूल, फल और भी पूजा के लिए बहुत सारे सामान चाहिए. तो इन सब सामान को बेचने वाले और दूसरे आर्टिशंस, ट्रेडर्स, दे ऑल्सो स्टार्ट लिविंग नियर द टेम्पल. तो slowly and gradually many people start living near the temple, and that area would be changed into a temple town. So at that time many areas would become a temple town. For example, Bhilsa Swami Mandir, that is in Bhilsa or Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh. Another example is in Gujarat, that is Somnath. Somnath has also a very famous temple, Somnath temple. Other temple towns are like Kanchipuram, Madurai in Tamil Nadu, Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. You should mark all these temples in the map for a better learning. Other pilgrimage centers also slowly develop into the township. कुछ दूसरे एरिया जैसे कि वृंदावन और तमिलनाडु में तिरुवन्नामलई, ये सभी कुछ ऐसे सेंटर्स थे जो टाउन में चेंज होने लगे. The most famous place that represent the coexistence of a religion, especially the coexistence of a Hindu-Muslim religion, that is Ajmer. So in the 12th century, Ajmer was the capital of Chauhan kings, and Chauhan was a Hindu king. तो चौहान, पृथ्वीराज चौहान इस चौहान किंगडम के बहुत ही फेमस रूलर हैं. तो वो एक हिंदू रूलर थे और 12th सेंचुरी में ही वहां पर एक मुस्लिम सूफी सेंट आके रहने लगते हैं जिनका नाम था ख्वाजा मुइनुद्दीन चिश्ती, एंड he settled there in the 12th century. And because of their magical power, or because of their nature and their attributes, many devotees start attracting toward them from all creed, not only the Muslim, Hindu, Muslim and other community also attract toward them, and that place become the center of Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti. So here it shows that whether 12th century, in the 12th century the Ajmer was under the Chauhan kings, but at that time Muslim Sufi saints also get its place there. So this is a very very good example of a religious coexistence. And near Ajmer there is a lake, and that lake is the Pushkar Lake. It is also a pilgrimage center, and near a Pushkar Lake there is a temple of Brahma. And in all India there is a one place, that is Pushkar, near a Pushkar Lake, where Brahma temple is found.